The cameras flashed. The iconic style turned heads. But behind the familiar, quirky smile of a Hollywood legend, a secret battle was unfolding.
And then the shocking news that stopped everyone.
Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Today, we're looking at the final year of a true original, Diane Keaton.
The news broke on October 11th, 2025. Diane Keaton had passed away at 79. And it sent this genuine shockwave through culture. Not just sadness, but real surprise.
Absolutely jarring. And that's our focus for this deep dive. Moving past that headline to understand the intense contradiction in her last year. We're drawing from sources like Diane Keaton, Final Year and Enduring Legacy, which charts those final public moments against the very private farewell.
Okay, let's unpack this. Our aim here is to really look at that gap, this huge difference between the vibrant, almost performing Diane Keaton we saw right at the end of 2024 and the incredibly guarded final months of 2025.
What does that choice tell us? About fame, about privacy, and maybe about her own sense of control.
Yeah, her final act of personal agency, maybe.
That tension was obvious right from the start. The first report, an exclusive in People magazine, hit hard. And immediately you had this public hunger for information clashing with the family's, completely understandable need for space.
You really saw that in the official statement from the family. It was short, confirmed the death, and then clearly asked for privacy in this moment of great sadness. But that deliberate silence, while totally respectable, it created this instant information vacuum, didn't it? Especially for someone so globally recognized.
It did. And while public records started to fill that vacuum, just a little, with some pretty cold facts. We know the LAFD confirmed a medical call to her home in Brentwood, 8 a.m. that morning.
And maybe the most unsettling detail, dispatch audio that TMZ later got hold of, it revealed first responders were sent for a person down. Just stark language.
Really stark. And those limited facts were basically it for a while. The official cause of death wasn't announced.
Right. And people started thinking, about her past health things she'd been open about, like skin cancer, years ago, back in her 20s.
And her struggle with bulimia, which she herself called her lowest point. She was quite candid about that eventually.
But it's important to stress our sources show no credible link was ever made between those past issues and what happened suddenly at the end.
No, none at all. Which brings us right back to that modern conflict, doesn't it? How does this instant global news cycle coexist with a family's fundamental right to grieve privately? It makes you want to understand the person behind the headlines even more.
Exactly. And to grasp the shock, you have to contrast that sudden end with the image she projected just months before in 2024. It was all vitality.
Sustained vitality. Her last movie, The Comedy Summer Camp, came out in May 2024. She was clearly still working, keeping that pace up.
And physically, she seemed totally on form. Remember those photos from December 12, 2024, holiday shopping in Brentwood?
Oh, yeah. Classic Keaton. The turtleneck, the tailored coat, the glasses, her signature look.
Totally. And she wasn't hiding from the cameras, was she? She was engaging them. The report said she was goofing off, making funny, angry faces, shooting mean looks.
Like a performance.
Absolutely. A quintessential Keaton performance. Playing with her image, owning it. So to anyone watching, she looked vibrant, healthy, still the icon in complete control.
And that impression lasted. She was seen strolling with a friend in August 2024, flashing that big smile. Looked great.
But then, the first real sign of a change wasn't physical. It was digital.
Yeah.
Which feels very 21st century.
Keaton was, she was huge on Instagram, right? Prolific, beloved for her quirky posts.
Totally.
But her final post was way back in April 2025. That's a full 6 months before she passed away.
6 months of silence from someone usually so present online. What was this post?
Pretty ordinary, actually. A collaboration with a brand, Hudson Grace, featuring her golden retriever, Reggie. Cute dog.
Okay.
But the silence afterwards, that's what became significant. The comments section under that final post, it turned into this, real-time diary of public concern.
Right. People started noticing she was gone.
Exactly. You saw comments like, I miss you here, hope you are okay. It went from a simple ad to the space filled with fan anxiety.
And that wasn't the only signal around that time, was it? Something more tangible.
Right before the Instagram silence deepened, in March 2025, there was a big physical clue. She listed her house for sale.
Not just any house, though. Her dream home, the one she'd poured so much into. That really surprised people, didn't it?
It did. It felt like a major life shift. A fundamental change was happening, even if nobody knew exactly what.
Okay, so you have this amazing public performance of Vitality right up to December 24, then the digital silence from April 25, the house sale in March 25. It still feels incredibly fast.
It does, and that's where the private truth comes in, pieced together from sources close to her. They confirmed her health had, and this is the quote, declined very suddenly.
Suddenly. So not a long, drawn-out illness that maybe a few people knew about.
No, apparently not. It was described as a rapid downturn. It seems it caught even people quite close to her somewhat by surprise.
Oh. Were there physical signs that friends noticed?
There were, but kept very private. Reports mention a sudden weight loss that apparently left some friends quite stunned.
You mentioned Carol Bayer Sager.
Yes, her longtime friend. She recalled visiting Keaton near the end and said she was very thin, lost so much weight. A visible, significant change.
So putting it all together, the public energy, the sudden decline, the weight loss, the house sale, the digital withdrawal, what does it point to?
It points to a very deliberate choice. A choice to shield her struggle from the public eye. The circle of people who knew what was really going on was kept incredibly small.
Intentionally small. Sources said even longtime friends weren't fully aware of what was happening.
Exactly. So her retreat wasn't just happening to her. It feels like a determined effort to control her own final chapter. A really powerful act of personal agency, choosing family intimacy over the constant demands of public life.
Prioritizing her terms. You know, if you're finding this exploration of how stars navigate fame and privacy compelling, make sure you subscribe to Starscope Report. We dive into stories like this all the time.
That need for control, for defining her own narrative, it wasn't just in her personal life at the end. You see it in her career trajectory, too. Her death wasn't a quiet fade out.
No, it felt like an abrupt interruption, didn't it? I mean, since the pandemic started alone, she'd made 7 films. That's relentless.
Absolutely relentless. And she wasn't planning on stopping. At the time she passed, she was attached to 3 different films already in pre-production. High-profile projects.
Let's talk about those. It shows where her head was at, creatively. First, there was Artist in Residence.
Right, a drama. She was sent to play Toni Beckworth, described as an eccentric female artist fighting eviction. Andy Garcia and Josh Hutcherson were attached too.
Okay, interesting character. Then the reunion with Richard Gere.
The making of sounded really intriguing, kind of meta. They play filmmakers whose own marriage is falling apart while they're making a film about their love story.
And Blake Lively and Lin-Manuel Miranda were supposed to be in that too.
That was the plan. Shows the kind of star power she still commanded, pulling together a cast like that.
And the third one sounded like a real departure. Constance.
Yeah, described as a gripping Hitchcockian thriller. She was cast as a woman feeling stifled by her protective kids. The director actually said Keaton was a brave and fearless world-class actor and that we'd see her in a way we never have before.
Wow. Hitchcockian thriller. That's unexpected.
It really is. And look at the range there. A character drama, a meta-romance, a psychological thriller. She was clearly not interested in just coasting or playing it safe in her late 70s.
Still challenging herself, refusing to be typecast. Those unfinished projects, they're kind of a sad testament to an artistic spirit that just wasn't done yet.
Definitely. And that spirit, that uniqueness, that's what shone through in all the tributes that poured out after the news broke.
There was such consistency in how people described her, wasn't there? From co-stars, directors, everyone.
Incredible consistency. The same words kept popping up. Original, one of a kind, unapologetically herself.
Completely without guile.
Yeah.
I saw that one a few times.
Yes. Bette Midler called her hilarious, a complete original. Goldie Hawn wrote something really moving, like, how do we say goodbye? There was and will be no one like you.
Just captures that sense of irreplaceability. And Viola Davis summed it up so well.
Oh yeah, hers was perfect. You were undeniably, unapologetically you, with all caps. That really felt like the core truth people responded to.
That authenticity, it defined her whole career, didn't it? Way beyond just Annie Hall, though obviously that was huge.
Huge. Oscar-winning huge, and it redefined the cinematic heroine. But her impact went further. Think The Godfather, Reds, Something's Gotta Give drama, comedy. She moved between them seamlessly.
And the fashion. The Annie Hall lookist. The bowler hats, the vests, the baggy pants. That wasn't a costume department invention, was it?
No, that was her style. Her personal style became iconic. It was described as her own revolutionary rebellion against gender roles through clothing, and it stuck.
She lived that independence too, didn't she?
Yeah.
Famously never married.
Never married. Chose to adopt her 2 children, Dexter and Duke, on her own when she was in her 50s.
Another unconventional choice. Forging her own path. It cemented her image as someone who just lived life on her own terms, creatively and personally.
So when you trace it all, the shock of the news, the vibrant public persona maintained for so long, then that sudden, intensely private final battle, the thread that runs through it all is that authenticity. In a world often full of artifice, she felt real.
She really did. She lived by her own rules, right to the very end, choosing profound control over her final chapter. Which leaves you with a thought, doesn't it? Considering everything we've looked at, was Diane Keaton's final act that fiercely guarded privacy maybe her ultimate artistic statement?
Hmm. A definitive declaration of independence from the modern media machine.
Something for you to think about. It adds another layer to her incredible legacy.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.